undercurrent of real emotion. 2. There are stakes this time. People you care about are in real danger, and you feel it. And the theme? It's not just cops versus criminals anymore. It's about loyalty, trust, facing your past, and asking yourself what you're really willing to risk for the people you love. Speaking of stakes, let's not forget the new cast members who step into the fire. You got Vanessa Hudgens as Kelly, returning from Bad Boy for Life, and she's an absolute scene stealer. She brings a sharpness and energy to the team. She's not just there for tech support. She's in the trenches. Alexander Ludwig as Dorn, the gentle giant who's surprisingly hilarious, with timing that plays perfectly off Will and Martin. Paola Nunez returns as Captain Rita Sakata, and she's not just a love interest or authority figure. She's got her own arc, her own conflicts, and she stands toe-to-toe with the boys. And then, of course, you get these amazing supporting performances from a few fresh faces, some surprising villains, some allies you're not sure you can trust. There's a real sense of tension and unpredictability. Without spoiling anything, let's just say the antagonists aren't cartoonish bad guys. They're complex, and the danger feels real. You might be wondering about the budget. Did they go big? Oh, trust me, they went big. This movie reportedly cost around $100 million, and every cent is up on the screen. The action sequences are epic. Massive car chases through the neon-lit Miami streets. Shootouts in broad daylight. Explosions that feel straight out of a video game, but with that gritty, real-world impact. You can tell the studio put their faith behind Adil and Bilal and this cast, and it pays off. Nothing feels cheap. It's glossy, sure, but there's grit under the surface. And you want to talk about box office? Ride or Die stormed into theaters and immediately shot to the top of the charts, grossing hundreds of millions worldwide. It didn't just do well for a sequel. It outpaced a lot of the so-called tentpoles of the year. Why? Because this is a franchise people love, but also because it delivers. The word of mouth, through the roof. People were coming back for repeat viewings, dragging their friend along, because it's just that fun. Now, let's pull back the curtain a bit. Behind the scenes, this was a passion project. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence were deeply involved in bringing this fourth film to life, working closely with the directors and producers to make sure it felt right. There was even some real-life drama after the success of Bad Boy for Life. The question wasn't if there would be another, but when, and if it could possibly live up to the hype. Adil and Bilal faced massive expectations. And then there was a challenge of filming under COVID-era restrictions, with all the delays, setbacks, and logistical nightmares that came with it. But somehow, you'd never know it from the final product. It's seamless, slick, tight, and bursting with energy. Filming took place mostly in Miami, because let's be honest, nobody does Miami like Bad Boys. You get those classic shots, sun-bleached streets, pastel Art Deco buildings, palm trees waving in the background, speedboats zipping across the water, neon everywhere. But it's not just glossy tourist shots. This is the real Miami, a city of contrasts, and the cinematography leans into that. There are scenes shot at magic hour that look absolutely gorgeous, but then the camera ducks into alleyways and old warehouses, giving you a sense of the grit and danger lurking just under the surface. And the music, oh man, the music is phenomenal. Lauren Balfe returns as a composer, and he gives you those iconic pulse-pounding Bad Boys beats, but with new flavors, blending hip-hop, Latin rhythms, EDM, and a few emotional piano cues that'll sneak up on you. Every action scene has this perfect soundtrack. Sometimes it's big and bombastic. Sometimes it's moody and tense, but it always fits. And the classic Bad Boys theme? Of course it's back. You'll be humming it for days. Cinematography is a huge part of what makes this movie pop. Robert Hayward is back as director of photography, and he's absolutely on fire. He uses all these dynamic tracking shots, slow motion during the craziest moments, and wild drone shots to give you a real sense of scale. The editing is razor sharp, never too choppy, never confusing, just pure visual storytelling. There are a couple of sequences, one inside a nightclub, another on a rain-soaked highway at night, that feel almost like music videos, but with real stakes. Every frame is alive. And you know what's really cool? This film doesn't just rest on nostalgia. Sure, there are Easter eggs and callbacks to longtime fans, but it's not just about reliving the glory days. The characters have changed. The world has changed. There are references to current events, to new threats, to how policing itself has changed. It's not afraid to touch on real issues, corruption, loyalty, what it means to do the right thing when the rules don't work anymore. But it never gets preachy, never slows down for a lecture. It's always pushing forward, always giving you something to care about. Any awards yet? Well, let's just say there's already talk of a few nods, action choreography, maybe even a Best Duo nomination for Smith and Lawrence at some fan-voted awards. Critics praise it for reviving the buddy cop genre and bringing heart and humor back to big-budget action. It may not be Oscar bait, but it's the kind of film that gets celebrated by audiences, by critics, by anyone who loves a good time at the movies. And look, no big movie comes without some controversy, right? There were a few headlines, mostly about whether Will Smith would be welcomed back to big summer blockbusters after the 2022 Oscars drama. But here's the truth. The audience decided. They wanted to see him. They missed him in this role. And when the film dropped, all that noise just faded into the background. People were too busy having fun. But let's talk about what really matters, why this movie stands out. It's not just the explosions, the jokes, the cool cars, or the slick camera work. It's the feeling you get watching these two guys, these best friends, taking on the world again and again. There's something universal about it. It's about brotherhood, about sticking together no matter what, about facing down impossible odds and not giving up. And honestly, it's about laughter, because even when things get rough, these guys find a way to make you laugh. That's the magic of Bad Boys. In a year full of big-budget action movies, Ride or Die feels like the real thing. The kind of film you remember, the kind you quote with your friends, the kind you come back to when you want to feel that rush again. It's not just a sequel. It's a love letter to action fans, to buddy comedies, to anyone who's ever wanted to ride or die with their best friend. You get the sense that everyone involved knew how important this movie was, not just to the franchise, but to the fans. There are moments in Ride or Die that feel like the cast and crew are winking at the audience, saying, "We know what you love. We love it too. Let's go." And that's why it works. It's made by people